Josh, a lot of pressure when you walked in the door, and investors are loving what you're doing. What is the next phase, though? A lot of the changes you've made are sort of the low-hanging fruit. How do you take it to the next level?
I think we're at the very beginning of the opportunity for Etsy. When we look at our total addressable market, if you take just our top 6 categories in just our top 6 markets and look at only the online portion, it's a $155 billion market opportunity. So I think we're at just the beginning, and it's really about creating a better buying experience, which translates into more successful sales for our sellers.
No pressure, though the share price has increased considerably, up over 300% since you took over as CEO. Do you have any concern that investors are being too enthusiastic?
My job and the job of my team is to really focus on delivering results for all of our stakeholders, for our sellers and our buyers and our employees, and then our shareholders, of course, benefit as well. So, we're going to continue to deliver the best results we possibly can. And we're very focused on doing the fewest things we can exceptionally well. And we're seeing great gains from that. We think the results of the past few quarters have been encouraging, and we're looking forward to continuing to deliver more.
What areas are you exploring that may be new or unexpected?
I think that part of where we maybe lost our way was losing focus and trying to turn too quickly to too many new things. If you look at, let's just take 3 of our biggest categories: home furnishings, jewelry, and apparel. Each of those are multi-$100 billion categories where we have more than $500 million of sales today, but so much room to run. We've got to make it easier for buyers to find the products that they love and to buy those products and then to come back and buy more and more. And I know with over 2 million sellers selling over 50 million items that are beautiful, items that are made with care, there's so much opportunity to do better just in the core categories and the core markets we're in today.
The Supreme Court recently made a big decision that states can now force retailers to collect sales tax even without a physical presence there. That means more taxes for online shoppers. How does that impact Etsy, the business? How does that impact your buyers and your sellers?
It is not an existential threat to Etsy, but it does create more friction for our sellers. There's about 10,000 different tax jurisdictions in the United States alone, and each of those have different classifications for what types of goods are subject to what types of tax. That's very, very difficult for anyone to implement with excellence. So we think it's bad law, and we'll be working with the Congress and the state legislatures to try to come to something that is more effective and easier to implement. In the meantime, we'll have our sellers back, and we're investing in tools to reduce the burden and to make sure that we comply.
You also said at the time this decision was made that you'd continue to lobby Congress. What sort of actions have you taken?
So we are engaged in dialogue with Congress. And, the nice thing is that I don't think this is a partisan issue. We're trying to help states achieve their financial goals, but do it in a way where we can succeed, and most importantly, where e-commerce can succeed and innovation can succeed, because we think that's been a key driver of the U.S. economy. And, for us, we have 2 million sellers. 87% of them are women. They exist in 99% of the counties in the United States. Most of them are businesses of one running a global enterprise from their living room. So we think the needs of these micro entrepreneurs are really important, and we're making sure that their voice is heard.
I'd love to get your thoughts on this tweet from Elon Musk that he's considering taking the company private, given that you came in with activist investors banging down the door. What do you make of the fact that, Musk, who has been under great scrutiny from analysts and investors, might be considering this option, even though it may not make economic sense?
I can't speak for Elon. What I can say for Etsy is I think accountability is a terrific thing. And I think being accountable to all of our stakeholders makes us raise our game and execute better. And as we have delivered very strong financial results over the past number of quarters, we have also sharpened our focus and delivered great social impact results. And I'm very proud of the fact that diversity in the company has continued to increase, and that our environmental impact and our ecological footprint has gone down at the same time. So I think being accountable is helpful both for financial and for social results.
Now, you did have some layoffs in order to execute this turnaround. Do you see more job cuts coming, and what's the mood?
You know, what we did was we said, what are the fewest things we need to do really well? And then have the cleanest org structure where there's one person accountable to own each of those metrics, and with the team that they need under them and with the fewest number of layers. That did unfortunately result in some layoffs. Since that time, we've been hiring and growing, and in fact, we have more than 100 open recs right now. So we're very focused on growing, but growing in a sustainable way.
So, last question. Obviously, there's a lot going on politically, a lot of political and economic uncertainty given what's happening in the Trump administration, a looming trade war, possible new regulation. What's your outlook on how these forces could impact your company?
So in a world where I think the economy is becoming more commoditized and people are buying more and more mass-produced goods, I think they crave ever more for human connection. And Etsy's mission is to keep commerce human. So the idea that you can buy from someone within your own country or in another country that's a real human that you can talk to, they can make that product just for you, I think that need is even greater today than ever. And I think it's something that's very defensible and ownable for Etsy. So we feel good about our opportunity going forward.